Well, I think we can't say that, and then okay, we can start talking about it, but then like we're
Okay,
gonna
now you just messed
introduce
it up.
later. Okay.
So let's start with
Anyway.
Connect.
Okay, well, I think that some of the stuff that I saw on that was like it's getting better, right? Like it looks.
It is getting better. Yes, I agree.
But then, let's see if I can think of a specific example. There's still just some really like shitty stuff out there that like going for it. Like one thing I really didn't like. I did not like Peter Molyneux's new project. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Peter Molyneux.
Yeah, he came out on stage, and you know he's the guy who does Fable and all.
Yeah, there's a new Fable, right?
Well, there's Fable: The Journey, right?
Right. It looks
it's
so bad.
It looks terrible.
Like, Fable 2 is alright, and then I didn't play Fable 3. You didn't either, right?
No,
Yeah.
why would I play that?
Right. Once you play Fable 2, you played every Fable.
And it crashed on you after you got 40,000 gold when you booted it up. So why would you try and boot it up again if it already crashed on you?
Exactly. Yeah, Peter Molyneux.
He needs to get his head in the game, because that guy is a genius, but he just, like, no one cares about your stupid zapping game on Connect. Like, let's be real here. People want to see you make, you know, another crazy, like, God game where you're God and doing crazy ass shit, because that's the kind of games you used to make for the computer.
Yeah.
And, you know, ever since, like, I don't know, the original Fable, I mean, he did go back and do a second, I think it was Black and White was the series. But, like, you know, ever since Fable's been making money and selling millions of copies, he's just not been living up to what he could be doing, you know?
Yeah, I agree. What about the changes to the Xbox Live menu? Because now you have the voice commands, right? You can be like, search, Bing, whatever.
Well, we've had that for a little while, but it seems it's getting better.
It's going to get better. But what I'm thinking is, it takes longer sometimes to say, like, Xbox, whatever.
Yeah,
rather than just hit A.
Yeah, no, some of these controls are so
They're
useless.
not practical. And I noticed this in all 3 press conferences with different things.
Oh yeah, there's so many like impractical controls. And so if you're just joining us now, this is Epic Digression, and I'm Alex.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're just talking a little bit about how useless some of these new controller inputs are getting.
And also some of the new games and content, as well as hardware that was showcased during E3 and will be coming out either this coming fall or later.
Because, of course, this is our post E3 podcast, where the show is being recorded Thursday, June 9th. It's right at the end of E3 now. I think we've seen pretty much everything we're going to see. We'll just get a few tidbits from here on out of things we've missed, but we've watched most of the main press conferences, and we're just talking about, you know, mostly what we didn't like about them, because there wasn't really too much to like, was there?
No, there wasn't much to like at all. Xbox, Microsoft, they didn't really show me anything. But they don't have to, then again. They already have a big game library coming out. I'm going to be interested.
And the thing is, you know, I was watching a little bit of coverage over at Giant Bomb, and, you know, they said it too. Microsoft doesn't have to show you anything.
Right.
They're in the lead. They're ruling everything right now. Basically, you know, Kinect is the new Wii. They've shipped like 1 million units or something. And they're just, you know, they're still completely beating Sony in terms of selling consoles to the hardcore.
And they don't need any more hardware. They have a perfect system. They came up with the black one that has plenty of space for everything. And then they came up with the Kinect last year. So they're really just riding the wave here. And
so do you think they're going to ride that new system for the next 4 years?
No. I think that it might actually get staggered now, because it used to be that they would come out within a year of each other. Like, the original Xbox came out 1 year before the PS2 and the GameCube, right?
Yeah. Right. So, you're talking about whenever a generation of consoles comes out, every company that wants in on that generation comes out within about a year of each other.
Right.
Or the major contenders who end up surviving anyway.
And I think that a lot of things are getting staggered. Look at the portables. The 3DS came out, and Nintendo's going to go with that probably for 4 years plus, and the PlayStation Vita is going to be coming out in the future.
And so with those portable game systems, if you notice, they're taking more of an iPod model. Release a new model every year. It's not necessarily going to, that model will play the old games. Older models will play the new games. But you're still getting a new model just about every year. Do you think there's any chance that we're going to something like that in consoles? Will we ever get there with the consoles? What's up with that?
I don't think we will.
Will there ever be a time when, I buy the new Xbox in 2013, but you still have the 2011 Xbox and it's going to be playing those newer games? Because that's where the handheld is heading, and that is where we are with iPods and iPads.
Right, and I think there's a serious problem with. Well, first of all, they named the 3DS the 3DS, and it almost makes it seem like, oh, this is just a DS upgraded to 3D, and it's not, because you can't play 3DS games on your DS. And so now, everything they showed at E3, I believe, they didn't show any DS games, did they? Very few. They showed a bunch of 3DS.
There was very little of the DS.
Right.
Or DSi, I think it now is.
But the DS and DSi can play the same games.
Mm-hmm. And but the 3DS, let's talk about that lineup a little bit, because it was fantastic.
It was. It made me think, like, if I was going to buy anything from all three press conferences,
the piece of hardware that I'm walking away buying this year is either a 3DS or a new computer.
Yep,
that's what I got out of the show.
Yep,
because for instance, the Icarus multiplayer alone looks.
That's
so
cool,
fun.
But I wonder how well it's going to be pulled off, because Nintendo has been lagging a bit in the online connectivity, but it seems like they're catching up. Like, they showed the parties and stuff, and I was like, that's Xbox Live. So, maybe they're getting better. Go ahead.
And Ubisoft is talking about their Ghost Recon and how there aren't going to be any friend codes, and at least there's a pretty substantial rumor going around that there's not going to be any friend codes at all. And I think Nintendo commented at one point, but has since withdrawn their comment and said they'll talk about it later. But really what it sounds like we're going towards a Sony Microsoft system with the online we'll see on the Wii U. And so are we also going to see that on the 3DS? We're going to see better online there? It's quite possible.
I think so. And it's a very good move for Nintendo. Now, I believe the reason they had the friend codes in the first place is that the Wii is geared towards a younger audience.
Well, yeah, so, the Wii and the DS,
right?
They had it,
and they want to protect those consumers, and they want parents to feel good about buying something for their child, so that they can't just talk to strangers. So I think if Nintendo comes out with a really strong protection thing, where the security is the highest when you buy it, and then you have to yourself turn that down, and parents can password protect it, I think they'll still feel the same amount of safety with their children. But the core gamers and the people who are going to be playing Ghost Recon will love the fact that they can have now a friend list or something like that and be able to play just like they can on any other console.
Yeah. And so, back to something I mentioned a little earlier, in terms of buying new hardware. So, the most exciting game I think I saw at this show, and game, not tech, video, but game.
Let me guess. Battlefield 3.
Battlefield 3. Which I actually think is kind of a sad thing because if that's the most exciting game that I saw and I took away, and I feel like that's the one the internet has the most hype about. I don't feel like there was anything at this E3 that everyone can say was their favorite thing. And a lot of years we have that. When the Wii was first playable, everyone wanted to play the Wii. Other years it's like a Halo game or like a Crisis or there's always something that everyone goes to and they're like, this is the big winner of E3. Pretty much everyone, 99% unanimously agree that there's this huge thing there. I don't think we saw that this year.
I agree. There was a few things I liked and a lot of things I didn't like, but I think going to Battlefield 3, I think Battlefield 3. I'm making a prediction right now. You can quote me. Battlefield 3 will be a better game than Modern Warfare 3.
Easily.
It probably won't outsell Modern Warfare 3.
That's maybe worldwide, but yeah, Call of Duty franchise, it's pretty much the number one selling franchise ever.
And don't get me wrong, it's going to be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
But Battlefield 3 just looked like it was going places that shooters have scratched the surface of, but haven't fully explored.
So what specifically are you talking about here?
First of all, the graphics.
Are
insane,
crazy good.
They're very good.
I mean, the more I probably watched that tank trailer like 3 times now in varying resolutions.
I hadn't seen that tank trailer, by the way. I had only seen the one where they're in the city on like a mission.
And the thing is, the cities don't. Well, when they have their destruction effects going, and you see these like dust cloud plumes from explosions and stuff, that looks great. But if you're just running around with a gun and you see a couple of your buddies and like maybe a wall to your left and right, it really doesn't look that much better than any like Xbox 360 or even really like any Xbox game, right?
Right.
I mean, it looks like that stuff's hard to improve. But you watch that tank scene and you see those landscapes and you see all the desert brush and you see all the gleam, I think, is really what they nailed with this Frostbite 2 engine, because you look at every other awesome looking game from this show. If you look at Uncharted 3, you will look at it and there is a specific art style to it that's, it's almost like it's hiding the fact that it's a computer game, right? It has this sort of like everything is very, very shiny, there's a certain sheen to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with Frostbite 2, they've really nailed making that sheen a realistic thing, because it's something that video games didn't have for many, many years, and the technology's finally been here the last generation to make it. But I think it's really only with the latest updates in this PC technology, and with the fact that DICE has been working on this Frostbite 2 engine, that we've really been able to sort of tone it down and make it fit the environment a little bit more. It's more subtle, but it can still, if it's like a sunny landscape you're going through, it can overpower. And really, it still works like fantastically.
No, I agree. The thing about the tank trailer that'll worry me a tiny bit was, at first I felt like I was like in Afghanistan or Iraq or something. I was in a battlefield.
Racist. You are racist, sir.
No, but seriously, I felt like I was like literally there and was a soldier. And when I was looking at like the computer monitors and like where to like pick certain targets, that felt very real. Now, when they were shooting at the other tanks, the tank, like, it turned, like, red. The screen flashed red as if you were being hit. Mm-hmm. And it took, like, 5 shells. And the tank was fine and still kept going. I'm wondering what kind of realistic value it has. And
is that fun to play?
Can you actually die? Or
So my theory on this is that... and this is done for a lot of press conference live gameplay demos. They were in God mode, because you would see them get hit by shells and the camera would shake and go blurry and stuff. But I don't feel like they were ever really taking damage.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is one of those games that, like, I'm not the greatest gamer in the world. So, like, the first time playing that level, I feel like there would have been one of those times where all the tanks stopped and I just, like, went wheeling right ahead and got hit by, like, a mortar and died. And we do see one of the friendly tanks in that trailer explode, and it's fiery, and all the guys are jumping out of it.